Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT +1. That is 11 a.m. GMT +1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth. To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I'm Nicholas Akosile Walter, and here are the news making the headlines. 7-month strike lingers as ASUU and government fight over payments platform. Ivory Coast first results trickled in U.S. elections 2020. Biden and Trump hit swing states. The federal government spent 269.38 billion naira on 6 million free meters. And on sports, Ronaldo returns with double in Juventus win. Stay with us as we bring you details of our news after the short break. Now, the news in details. Welcome back. 7-month strike lingers as ASUU and government fight over payment platform. The federal government criticized the Academic Staff Union of Universities, saying issues concerning 7-month strike by the union were confusing. The Minister of State for Education, Emeka Nwajubas, who stated this in an interview in Abuja, accused the union of muddling things up over the integrated payment role and the personal information system. But in its response, the union said government wanted to turn Nigerians against university lecturers. Recall that ASUU had on March 23rd begun an indefinite strike over the federal government's insistence on implementing the IPPIS, which the government said all its employees must adopt for their salaries to be paid. Beside opposing the IPPIS, union said also accused the federal government of not abiding by agreements both sides signed a few years ago. 2 weeks ago, there were indications that the strike would soon end, as the federal government said that it might consider adopting the University Transparency Account System, which ASUU developed as an alternative to the IPPIS. But the hope that students of public universities will soon resume dimmed on Sunday as the government and ASUU tackled each other on the payment system. Quickly moving forward, it's wrong to brutalize peaceful protesters, says Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari said it was wrong to use violence to disperse peaceful protesters. He warned against using security agencies to brutalize peaceful protesters also. He also told youths who have been embarking on EndSARS protests across the country that the time had come for them to leave the streets and approach the negotiation table. According to a statement by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president, represented by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Muhammad Bello, spoke at the maiden National Youth Day program with the theme invest in the youth, secure our future, held at the presidential villa, Abuja. The president argued that to allow protest is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength and belief in democracy. He also told the youths that it was important for them to realize the protest could not last indefinitely. The president said youth must realize that protest cannot, in as much as it cannot last indefinitely, he said his government will not lift a hand to stop or suppress them. In another development quickly, Nigerians' restructuring should begin with the mind. Northern Christians. Christians in the North, under the aegis of Congress of National or Northern Nigeria Christians, have said the restructuring of the country should commence with the restructuring of the minds of Nigerians to avoid a repeat of the ongoing problems. The president of CNNC, Daniel Kazai, said this in an interview in Abuja. Kazai said Nigerians should restructure their minds before restructuring the demography of Nigeria. For the restructuring they are talking about, if they don't restructure their minds, even when the country is restructured, there will still be problems in Nigeria. He also called on the federal government to institute an inquiry into the burgling and looting of COVID-19 palliatives in warehouses across the country. While decrying the politicization of the EndSARS protest, the CNNC rejected calls for the breakup of the country. Kazai said giving ethnic and religious dimensions to the EndSARS protests was not in the best interest of Nigeria. He also expressed concern over the wave of violence and trailed the killing of EndSARS protesters in the Lekki area of Lagos, saying the inquiry should unravel the immediate and remote causes of the crisis. And quickly coming from around Africa, on Ivory Coast elections, first results trickled in. Guarded by heavy police presence, Ivory Coast Electoral Commission has started to announce the preliminary results of the presidential votes, with 2 of the 4 candidates boycotting incumbent President Alassane Ouattara is expected to win, especially in the north of the country. The area is known for being a stronghold of the president. According to the first result, President Ouattara obtained 98% of the votes in Kohogo, the northern capital, with an 88% participation. Ouattara's opponents keep claiming his bid for a 3rd term was unconstitutional and say the vote, which according to them is an attempt at a coup d'etat, was a failure. Though FPI's leader Pascal Afi Nguessa, opposition leaders called for a civil transition and once more stated they no longer recognize Alassane Ouattara as the Ivory Coast president. The RHDP ruling party has meanwhile warned the opposition against any attempt at destabilization. And still from around Africa, Algerians vote in referendum for new era. Algerians voted in a referendum to revise the constitution after long-time President Bouteflika was forced to resign last year following mass protest. The government hopes it will neutralize the Hirak protest movement and will bring in a new Algeria, but opponents says it will change much. The Hirak has rejected the document and called for a boycott. The 60,000 polling stations closed and everything points to an extremely low turnout in the vote and a crushing defeat for the regime. The turnout rate was just up of 18% according to Mohamed Chafi, and president of Independent National Authority on Elections. The turnout were about around the 10% mark with 11.5% and 12.5%. In December 2019's presidential election, the lowest turnout rate in any pluralistic presidential elections in the history of Algeria has set the bar at 39.93%. The text will set presidential term limits and create a new anti-corruption body, but it has been criticized. The vote comes on the anniversary of the start of Algeria's war of independence against France in 1954. It also comes as Algeria's President Abdelmadjid Tebboune is hospitalized in Germany. His health condition has not been disclosed, but there are reports of COVID-19 cases among his staff. Seen by opponents as an old-school regime insider, Tebboune comes to power following a December 2019 presidential poll marred by record abstentionism. The Iraq movement led calls for a boycott of the elections, and even official data had put the turnout at less than 40%. We'll go on a short break. Paul Campbell will bring you details from the United States of America. Stay with us, please.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth. The wait is over. You can now connect to Celebration TV's official website, www.mycelebrationtv.com. Specially designed for your satisfaction, you get to access a lineup of inclusive contents and programs of Celebration TV. Get the latest updates and news stories from our news desk. Be kept abreast on infos about all outreaches and events of the Resurrection Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Watch Celebration TV on the go via our 24/7 live streaming service. With all these and more, we'll make your partnership with us as we take the gospel around the world way easier with just a click. Hurry now. Visit www.mycelebrationtv.com.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome back. And now updates from U.S. elections. Biden and Trump hit swing states. Donald Trump and Joe Biden have been traveling across the nation as the U.S. election enters its closing stage. President Trump visited 5 battleground states while his challenger, Mr. Biden, spoke at a campaign event in Pennsylvania, and the Democratic candidate maintains a solid national lead in the polls ahead of Tuesday's general election. But this advantage is narrower in key states which could decide the results. More than 90 million people have already cast their ballots in early voting, putting the country on course for its highest turnout in century. The election comes amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. has recorded more cases and more deaths than any other country worldwide. reporting more than 99,000 infections on Saturday alone. Top virus expert Anthony Fauci has sharply criticized the Trump administration's handling of the pandemic during a rebuke from the White House on Sunday. The Republican president had a punishing schedule on Sunday, holding rallies in Iowa and Michigan, North Carolina, and Georgia, followed later by Florida, all states where polls suggested tighter race. Speaking in Washington, a town in Michigan north of Detroit, Mr. Trump told his supporters that under his leadership, the economy is now growing at the fastest rate ever recorded. More updates from the United Kingdom. Prime Minister warns of virus death twice as bad as spring. COVID-19 deaths could be twice as high over the winter as they were in the first wave of the pandemic. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to warn Member of Parliament. In a parliamentary statement, he will say there is no alternative as he seeks to win support for the planned 4-week lockdown across England. But Mr. Johnson will explain he was right to try every possible option before ordering people to stay at home. Labour has said it will back the lockdown but criticized the delay. Mr. Johnson announced at a Downing Street news conference on Saturday that strict measures will be imposed across England from Thursday, closing pubs, restaurants, gyms, non-essential shops and places of worship. Full details of regulations are expected to be published before Member of Parliament's vote on the measure on Wednesday. However, Housing Secretary Robert Jenry confirmed that moving house will still be allowed during the restrictions, adding that removers, firms, estate agents and tradespeople can continue to work but must follow COVID safety guidelines. The Prime Minister is due to tell Member of Parliament that the government will seek to ease restrictions on the 2nd of December and return to the current 3-tier system. On Sunday, Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove said the lockdown could be extended if it took longer to bring the transmission rate of the virus down. Mr. Johnson faces a rebellion from several senior Tory Member of Parliament, including Sir Graham Brady, chairman of the 1922 Committee of Backbenchers. Now, quickly, let's look at business news. Federal government spends 269.38 billion naira on 6 million free meters. The federal government is to spend between 269.38 billion naira and 497.13 billion naira on the provision of 6 million free meters to various unmerited power users across the country. Also, findings from separate quarterly reports of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission and the power sector showed that the number of unmetered customers in Nigeria has reduced by 210,359. It was also gathered that about 245,916 unmetered power consumers would not benefit from the 6 million free meters, as Nigeria currently has about 6.245.9116 million. On Thursday, Presidency source told reporters in Abuja that the government will commence its free meter distribution scheme the following day, with Kano, Kaduna, Eko, Ikeja, name them electricity distribution companies, franchise areas as well. It was also gathered that the mass metering scheme took effect after a recent directive by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Central Bank of Nigeria. Based on the directive, the Central Bank of Nigeria approved guidelines for funding the program, which entailed that all meters under the scheme will be locally sourced in order to create more jobs. Going by the hike in prices, findings show that for free-phase meters, a total of 497.13 billion naira will be required to provide the 6 million meters plan for free distribution nationwide. And still on business news, 75 billion naira youth fund beneficiaries to get 250,000 naira to between 250,000 naira to 5 million naira, says ministers. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, said that between 250,000 naira to 5 million naira will be accessible to each benefiting youth from the federal government's 75 billion naira Youth Entrepreneurial Support Fund. The minister has said the federal government created a youth fund of 25 billion naira as part of efforts to address the EndSARS protest and other related youth restiveness across the country. Ahmed explained that the youth fund would be increased to 75 billion naira within the period of 3 years. In an interface with the 77 district heads and regions, religious leaders held at the Kaduna State University in the state capital, the minister explained how the youth could access the 75 billion naira fund. Ahmed said benefiting youth would receive various amounts of money ranging from 250,000 naira to 5 million naira each. These, she explained, would be dependent on the business idea, proposal and repayment plan of each benefiting youth. The minister added that the interest-free loan was expected to be paid back to the government within a period of 5 years. The finance minister said the meeting was designed to get inputs on best ways to empower the youths in reaction to the EndSARS protest. She appealed to religious and traditional leaders to help sensitize parents at community level on the need to instill family values in their children. We'll go on a short break quickly. We'll come back, we'll give you news from the sporting world. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth. The wait is over. You can now connect to Celebration TV's official website, www.mycelebrationtv.com. Specially designed for your satisfaction, you get to access a lineup of inclusive contents and programs of Celebration TV. Get the latest updates and news stories from our news desk. Be kept abreast on infos about all outreaches and events of the Resurrection Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Watch Celebration TV on the go via our 24/7 live streaming service. With all these and more, we'll make you a partnership with us as we take the gospel around the world way easier with just a click. Hurry now. Visit www.mycelebrationtv.com.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
You're welcome, sports news. Ronaldo returns with double in Juventus win. Cristiano Ronaldo came off the bench to score a brace on his return from coronavirus as Juventus got back to winning ways in Serie A with a 4-1 victory against promoted Spezia on Sunday. The champions ended a run of 3 consecutive draws to move second in Serie A, 4 points behind leaders AC Milan, who beat Udinese 2-1 earlier in the day thanks to a spectacular late winner from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ronaldo replaced Paulo Dybala in the 56th minute in Cesena with the match level after Tommaso Pobega had cancelled out Alvaro Morata's opener for Juventus. But the Portuguese striker put Juve in front just 3 minutes later. Adrien Rabiot grabbed a third on 68 minutes, with Ronaldo scoring a second from the penalty spot with 15 minutes to go for his 5th goal in 3 leagues games this season. Ronaldo had been COVID positive for 19 days after a test while on national duty, with Portugal missing 4 games. The 9-time defending champions had won their opener against Sampdoria in September, their only league victory on the pitch before 3 draws. We'll go on a second updates on sports news right now. And another sport news, Aubameyang scores as Arsenal beat Man United. Arsenal won away at Manchester United in the Premier League for the first time in 14 years as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's penalty and the thoroughly deserved 1-0 win for the Gunners on Sunday. United's run without a home win in the league stretches to 6 games as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men sink to 15th in the table. Starved of the chance of a counter-attack by the visitors, disciplined set-up United were far from the threat that thrashed RB Leipzig 5-0 in the Champions League in midweek. Arsenal have struggled for goals of late, but were gifted the chance to win the game by Paul Pogba's mistime launched on the Hector Bellerin and Aubameyang's first league goal since the opening day of the season moved Mikel Arteta's men up to 8. Victory also ended a run of 29 games without a win away from home for Arsenal against their Big Six rivals stretching back to January 2015. Aubameyang had not scored a Premier League goal since signing a new 3-year contract 6 weeks ago, and proud to his penalty endured another frustrating day in front of goal as he could not stretch far enough to turn home Bellerin's dangerous low cross at the back post early on. Arsenal continued to pose the greater threat after the break as Aubameyang called wide a sort of half chance he has made his specialty from the edge of the box before the outstanding Thomas Partey stung the palms of David De Gea. Aubameyang kept his cool to break his scoring drought by sending De Gea the wrong way and score Arsenal's first goal in the Premier League for 277 minutes. And that has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. And in case you're just joining us, here's the news headlines recap. 7-month strike lingers as ASUU and government fights over payment platform. Ivory Coast first result trickled in. U.S. election 2020, Biden and Trump hit swing states. The federal government spent 269.38 billion naira on 6 million free meters. And on sports, Ronaldo returns with double in Juventus win. And quickly we'll have photo of the day. Can you see that? It simply states that if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. It's time for you to build a door so opportunity can knock at that door. You can as well drop your comment on social media platforms. We have on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, Twitter, My Celebration TV, YouTube, Celebration TV. Always remember that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part today and do it with all diligence. Thank you once again for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Thank you.
to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.